Welcome to the 11th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me, as always, is Tyler.
What's up?
Sorry there was no episode last week. We tried.
Technical difficulties. That
Yeah.
happens.
XSplit decided to shit on my face again. But I finally figured out why it does the stupid thing that it does. Never happen again.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Cross those fingers, everybody.
So, what have you been playing this week?
Whole lot of nothing. Again. Mostly just Battlefield and Counter-Strike. A little bit of Minecraft here and there in between those games, but haven't had a lot of time kind of wrapping up school, so it's been pretty low key. I don't think I've bought anything either. I might play a little bit of Rayman Origins later tonight. I'm kind of itching to just relax and play something really simple. Maybe like get a couple of my friends to play it with me. So that might be in the future. I can talk about that next week. But yeah.
You instead of playing something simple, should play something incredibly not simple. We should play some Path of Exile after.
Ooh. We could definitely do that. Yeah, I'm not against that. I just need something like.
It's
kinda get
kind
that,
of
like-
mindless besides when you level up, in which case you're like, shit,
Yeah.
what do I want
And you
to
have
do
to
with this character 30 levels from now?
Right. No, I'm fine with that. It's just like playing Counter-Strike and Battlefield. You just kind of get I don't know. It's not like tunnel vision, but you just shoot, repeat, knife somebody.
It's super
Yeah.
repetitive.
Yeah.
And, like, the FPS genre just seems so stale.
It definitely does. It needs to be. I've actually one game I've been looking at was Shoot Mania. It's been out for a little while.
Actually, it
Alright.
only released this week. It was in
Yeah.
beta for a long-ass time.
That's
I
right.
really like that game from a competitive standpoint.
Yeah. It seems is it all insta-gibs? Like
It depends. So, there's like a deathmatch kind of mode where everyone, like, it's just free for all and everyone has rockets, in which case it's 2 hits. Then there's like the competitive mode, which is a 1v3 thing. Like, you have 2 teams of 3 and there's rounds. And one team is attacking and one team's defending. The defending team has 3 people and they're using rocket launchers. And the attacker has 1 person attacking and they're using a railgun, and the railgun's an instant gib. It will instantly kill the defenders, but the defenders have to hit the attacker 3 times total.
Okay.
And they have to, like, capture that big post.
Hmm.
It's quite good. The only issue right now is that, like, it's good for the people who want to play it competitively. The people who want to play it casually, there's not a lot there.
Right. Who makes that? Because it's the same people that make like Trackmania and those games, right?
Yeah, it's published by Ubisoft and it's made by... starts with an N. I can't remember the name of the developer.
Neowin?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And they make games that have very few game modes but have insane mod tools. So, like, you could build your own game mode and make your own guns and stuff within Shootmania, but in its current state no one's done that because there's nothing like there to pull in casual players as a game mode yet. But
Right.
there's no player base there to make those game modes yet. So it's like it's a catch-22.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing is whenever I hear about it from like a competition or a tournament or something, not really like someone just like reviewing it or playing it themselves. So
I
No,
think
I-
it's super awesome to watch as an esport. And
Really?
like, yeah, it's really simple. It's simpler than stuff like Quake. There's not a lot of guns. There's only the 2 of them, right? And it's just like a very skill-based game. The skill ceiling is insanely high. But other people don't necessarily think that way. I know my friend
Yeah.
Sully, he's the guy who runs that gaming team, Nexel. And
Yeah.
they were going to IPL 6 for Shootmania, and then IPL 6 got canceled. Blizzard just bought IPL, actually.
Really?
Yeah. They didn't buy like IPL the league. They bought all of their manpower, like all their they bought out their staff and all of their equipment. So
Still
IPL
good
no
money.
longer exists.
I'm sure something else will pop up.
Yeah.
Just give it some time. But yeah, what have you been playing this week though?
What have I played this week? I played a lot of towns. I played a shitload of towns.
Saw that.
That game, I just discovered something. This is the stupidest option I've ever seen in my goddamn life. So you can change the max game speed in the options because like it has 3 game modes by default, which is just like regular speed, real time, which is way too fucking slow for any kind of city building game, especially this one. And then there's one that's like double that. There's one that's triple that. And then it stops. But you can actually increase the cap on that speed because this game's entirely CPU based. So if you increase the cap, if you have like a strong enough CPU to do it, then you can go up to 6x. Fuck, that game's so much better now. So like what used to take me 10 hours to build is now like 3, not even 2.
No. We talked about this last week, I believe. Well,
Yeah.
podcast that didn't get aired. This is only like things only get built when you're there, right?
Yeah.
Because they're okay, that's what.
So you have like that's a game where you can't walk away from it because monsters can come and attack and you need to be there to micromanage.
Right.
So
That was a green light game too, correct?
yeah, it is. It's not done yet. It's in like the early access area of Steam.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's in beta, I guess, is what you'd call it.
Yeah.
There's enough there to be a game. It's just not a lot of content still. I don't know. It's hard to explain. There's not a lot of monster types, and you kind of just, like, at a point, you get to being, like, unbeatable. Or at least, it used to be like that. The other day, I almost lost a town because I, like, dug too deep into my mine, and I ended up releasing, like, a huge amount of cyclopses and ogres into my town.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like chemicals or something, but
No. Cyclopses and ogres emerged from my mine and fucking murdered everyone. Except for, like, the one hero that I have who is, like, OP as fuck. You have to, like, build taverns to, like, attract heroes to your town. And you get, like, more powerful heroes the more powerful monsters there are available. But the heroes that, like, stay get more, like, find equipment down in the dungeon. And they gain experience. So they, like, get stronger as well as the game goes on.
now is that kind of just independent? Like they do that by themselves, or
They do it by themselves. You can't control the heroes.
Okay.
The entire point of the game, like the premise of the game, is that you're the town that is built on top of a dungeon. Like, you know how in like Diablo 1 and 2 and 3 and every other action RPG, there's like that town and then there's just a dungeon in the area. And it's like, why did you people settle here?
Yeah.
You're the people who live there. You're like the town that is next to the dungeon.
Okay.
So like you have to build defenses and stuff and like build your town, and you have to try to attract people to live there and at the same time attract heroes to like clear out the dungeon.
It sounds pretty interesting. Is there any like Steamworks?
There's mods for it, but it's not on Steamworks, I don't think.
Okay.
There's like 2 mods that are kind of worth it. They do texture packs too, just like Minecraft.
That's cool.
Because the graphics in that game are ass. But
Yeah.
there's one mod that I want to install. It's called the brewery mod. It like lets you make beer.
Like,
so I'm gonna probably download that tonight. And
what's the point of making beer? Like, is it kind of like making food then? Or?
Yeah, you have to make food in that game, which is like the most important thing. It's why building, I talked about this last week, building in a snow fucking level is really hard because you can't grow wheat. and or at least there's very few areas where you can grow wheat, and so you end up with like this problem where you need to grow wheat so that you can make bread, but you just can't, and then everyone lives off of fucking mushrooms that you grow in the snow, and it's just really hard.
Doesn't sound like a good life, to be honest. Living off mushrooms.
Nah, I can't beat that game or like set up a really strong town in the snow. It's just too fucking hard.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, I don't really think I played anything. I'm gonna buy Injustice on Tuesday because fucking fighting games.
Who developed it?
I feel bad. I'm gonna look this up. They made the last Mortal Kombat.
Okay, yeah. That was considered a pretty big hit, right?
It was pretty good. My problem is, okay, I'm buying Injustice because I like fighting games and I haven't played a fighting game in forever. It's made by NetherRealm. I don't know why I couldn't remember the NetherRealm. I mean, they make Mortal Kombat. Yeah. But I like fighting games, and I prefer Tekken though. Tekken's like my go-to game. I didn't really like Mortal Kombat.
Tekken has more dimensions. Mortal Kombat, you can't like.
Mortal Kombat works kind of like Street Fighter in that like you have strong and light hits, and you can't do like. In Tekken, it's like it's a 2D fighter on a 3D plane. So like you're fighting this way, but like you can dodge, like vertical. I guess you're on like an XY plane where X is like the axis that you walk up and down. Or well, no, I guess you're on an XYZ plane, right? So Y is up, X is like the sideways. That's where like you're standing on. But you can like shift Z, and so like your characters can basically rotate in a circle around the plane. But the thing that makes Tekken has really hard timings, and combos are really fucking long because it's not like light hit, heavy hit. It's like use my left arm, use my right arm, hurry, throw a right kick, now throw a left kick, now double up a jab, and like fucking go into a throw, and it just like it gets so fucking long, and the timings are really hard to hit, and so I really like Tekken.
What did you ever play like Marvel vs. Capcom?
No.
Oh, like, you don't like.
I pretty much only ever play Tekken, so.
Okay.
Man, that train's fucking awesome.
Oh, next year, I'm living like half the distance away from it that I am now, so it's gonna be even better.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
We'll have to figure out this train schedule so that we can time it right when the train comes by.
Yeah. I'll just soundproof my entire apartment. That won't work.
Egg cartons on the outside of your house.
Yeah.
Soundproof your house so sound doesn't come in. No, I'm excited for Injustice. I'm gonna buy it because I fucking. No one likes to play Tekken with me, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Fighting games. Easier.
Fighting games are definitely a game you can't play with friends unless if they play it too. It's really, really hard. Like, I feel like Smash Brothers is one of those games that's not, because it's not really competitive. I mean, whatever it is, but
it's not competitive. Like, but I wouldn't call it a fighting game. It's a brawler. It's fucking stupid.
It's like, but it's hard because like my friend really likes Mortal Kombat, and he'll like bring his PS3 over, and like he's like, let's play some Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, I'll play like 2 rounds, and I'll probably get pissed after that. So it's kind of.
Well, you need to be on like even footing, otherwise it's not fun. Because like, even when I'm not trying and I'm playing Tekken, which is way fucking harder to learn than Mortal Kombat or like Street Fighter, because like you can't really button mash in Tekken. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work as well as it does in like everything else. But like even when I'm not trying, I just know the timings. It's like I'm not gonna start fucking up timings just cause.
Yeah, just to give you a chance, right?
Like that. Well, that's really hard to do. Like I can't just do it wrong. It's like
Well, it's
I'll
kind of
like block and then I'll like go to throw a combo, and I mean I'm not gonna break the combo. Like,
that's the thing of playing Counter Strike. I mean, it's kind of a little different, but like when you see someone and you know someone's coming, it's hard to like hold yourself and like not shoot them right away. I'm like, because that happened a long time ago when like a lot of my friends were in the Counter Strike and do LAN parties. That game probably lasted like a good 20 minutes because of the skill gap. So
oh, the same thing happens with Counter Strike whenever we play it at the UVic LAN. Because normally everyone just wants to play Brood War and or TF2. I'm I'm much I much prefer TF2, but every once in a while we play 1.6, and it's just me and Sully like shitting on everyone's faces.
yeah,
It's like, this is fun. Everyone else but Sully and I are dead in like the first like minute of the match, and then it's just Sully and I walking around the map trying to find each other.
yeah. Well, that's the best.
Yeah, and everyone gets mad because like we'll walk. We won't ever run because him and I both know that the person who runs is gonna get shot.
The first person that makes a noise is like, yeah, the jigsaw.
Yeah, so we just like crouch and walk everywhere the entire match, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Is like, "You don't rush in Counter Strike. Quiet. I think I can hear them." Game's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Anything else this week?
I guess Tactical Intervention, sort of. I finished that review.
Yeah.
People weren't happy. People on the MMO Attack channel weren't happy. They said I insulted the developers. I said they were inexperienced. That's the closest thing that I can think of that was insulting. But they've never made a video game before. So.
Wasn't like the lead designer of
One of the co-creators of Counter-Strike was on the team, yes, but it's the company is but Fixed Korea is an animation company, and they've never made a video game before, and then they made one. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, yeah. I was hyped for it, but
I was too. I was incredibly disappointed with it because mechanically it's just not a very good game. They like changed everything that made Counter-Strike really good, and then still tried to like have that essence, but some of the stuff just doesn't work. Like the gunplay is not as good because you can't really feel where the bullets are going, and so I have a feeling they're just using like the same kind of. You always have to burst fire everything, which you don't have to do in Counter-Strike if you know the recoil patterns. But there's like there's no conveying through like feedback what the recoil patterns are in a Tactical Intervention, so I have a feeling that they're not actually using those and they're just using a random cylinder. And that's always bullshit. I hate that. That's what Call of Duty and Battlefield do.
what, like where it just shoots in, like you have a cone and it.
Yeah, it's just a cone. It's not right, and it just doesn't feel right. I don't know, the whole game just doesn't play how I would expect it to. The feeling's just not there.
Yeah.
Besides that, I don't think I really played anything.
That week kind of flew by, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go so fast. I didn't even do anything this week. I just fucking like ended up sleeping in, which I feel bad about. I wanted to get more done, as far as just like reviews and stuff. I want to try to get 2 out a week before I go back to school, or at least get some like ready to release when I go back.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess this week I'm gonna play BioShock Infinite again, and I'm gonna play BioShock 1 and 2 if I have the time.
All this week?
Yeah. I'm not going to play them on hard, though. I'm going to play them on easy and normal. Especially Infinite, because that game's bullet spongy.
I played one. My controls are totally messed up. I think I played it on my laptop, and then I started playing it on my desktop, and the controls didn't carry over. And
So you just quit?
I played it for a little bit, and I'm like, I can't really, like... Or I changed the keys, but it didn't really feel right, and now it's at this weird point in the game, like, I don't remember any of the story before this, so I was kind of like, whatever. I was gonna start a new game. I'm like, I don't want to take the time to get back to this point. But
Yeah, I've beaten all of the BioShock games before, so it's
yeah,
gonna be fun. The thing is, there's stuff in number one that I want to find, that I didn't notice, obviously, the first time playing through, because it would make no sense in the context of playing them through the first time, like 6 years ago. When
right.
there's like, we'll talk about it next week, because next week's the BioShock spoiler cast, where we're just gonna talk about the whole series. So,
Right.
shit will be good.
Count on that.
Yeah, so play Infinite and beat it by then. It's not that long. If you play it, it took me 9 hours on hard, but there's some really bullshit, bullet spongy bullshit going on. If you play it on normal, you can probably beat it in 6.
That's fine because I got like Saturday and Friday.
You can beat it in an afternoon if you like, and that's with exploring it. Because I mean, it took me 9 hours, and I found every single audio log and every single one of the video things inside the world, and it took me 9 hours. And I think one of the big things is that there's these near the end of the game, a lot of the fights are fucking bullshit. They're so bullet spongy. So, like, there's just fights that took like 45 minutes that had no right taking that long.
Right.
But we'll talk about it next week. So let's move on to talking about stuff we talked about last week in a podcast that never got released.
So it's like we're talking about it for the first time.
Yeah, we'll pretend like we're going to try to have just as much enthusiasm as we did last week, saying the same things we've already said before.
You can count on that being a lot of enthusiasm, too.
Gladly, there's a little bit more information out about some of the stuff.
Such as Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Yeah, the first thing I guess we're going to talk about is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
That was pretty funny, to be honest, because right after we got done with that podcast, I got on the PC Gamer's like, hey, look at this trailer for Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I'm like, we just talked about this, and there wasn't a trailer. Like, there wasn't, I don't know, they released, I think it was...
No, like the day after, or like the day that we talked about it, there was a hack on a Uplay.
That's right.
So a bunch of fucking people played the whole game and like recorded it and put it on YouTube, and then all of them got copyright strikes against them because what they did was illegal. So I'm excited for Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Just from like some of the gameplay footage that I've seen, the price and the release date.
The price is $15, right?
Yeah, it's $15 and it's a standalone expansion.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like an awesome price point. I don't know. Like I didn't watch any of the I haven't watched any of the trailers besides that, so I don't really know how much content like we can expect or like what they've talked about.
I think it's a couple hours long.
So I mean, justify $15. That's not bad.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of the games that I buy and review, just because I like the premise of the game. I don't know about I like the way the game looks. I don't know how it's gonna feel.
It looks fresh. That's yeah. It's pretty cool. This was, to clarify, this was their like not really their April Fool's joke, but it was released on April 1st, right?
Yeah, they released the trailer on April 1st, and everyone's like, "Oh, look, this is too silly to be real." And then the next day, they're like, "It's real." I like the website that they have for this game because it looks like a website out of the '90s. It's fucking just got like GIFs all over it. It's fucking terrible looking. The website's pretty fantastic.
I'm trying to find it right now. Is it from Ubisoft? Yeah, no, I like the whole. There's like a comic book theme to it too, kind of. Or is that? I mean, like.
It looks like a bad '80s movie.
Right. Yeah, I like that. That's definitely good.
Yeah, that's one of the few games that has me actually interested as far as like being an FPS, because Far Cry 3 had some pretty okay mechanics that I didn't feel like they took far enough. This looks nothing like Far Cry 3, so I don't know what it's going to be like mechanically. I mean, there's a bunch of shit that just not in Far Cry 3, like ripping people's heart out. But I'm excited to play it. it looks good, and for $15, I mean, I can't be angry if it's not that good.
Right. It's not.
It's
Putting
not
on
a
a 20
$60
level.
game, right? So, or it's not an $80 game like SimCity. Like I can't get SimCity mad over it.
Did you? We got refunded the game though, man. How can you be mad?
What? I got Dead Space 3, another game that's not very good.
Yeah.
How excited should I be about getting another game that's not very good? To be fair, I've never played Dead Space 3, nor 1 or 2 or
Wait,
any.
you didn't play 3?
I haven't played 3.
Really? Okay.
I haven't
I
played
totally
1
didn't.
or 2. The only one I've
I
played
haven't played
is
1
the
or
light gun game because it's fucking awesome. And it's for the Wii. Only Dead Space game I played. And it's a
2. Yeah.
prequel.
You ever get in a conversation about it? Yeah, I love Dead Space. Which one? The rail shooter for Wii.
Yeah.
No one even knows what that is.
Game's
That's-
fucking awesome. Dead Space Extraction. It's a prequel.
That's
Sam and I
yes.
played that fucking whole thing through. It's goddamn awesome.
Watching the trailer for Blood Dragon though, I can see you buying it. I don't know anything about 3 if it like relates to it at all. I mean, it clearly doesn't. look like it does.
Nothing about 3 relates to it. They're both on an island.
Both on an island. Similar. No. But yeah, it looks. I think it's a good idea. I mean, I don't get why they have to put like Far Cry's name on it. Then it's kind of just.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just because it's like a same mechanics and everything. I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But-
Name recognition. Get the bros.
Yeah, I guess if it didn't have anything, like if it was just called Blood Dragon or something, like kind of wouldn't have as much weight as it does now. But I will say that's definitely a good like publicity move, an advertising move is doing it on April 1st because a lot of people pass that stuff around because it's interesting to see what game companies make up on April 1st because it's kind of become more and more routine. So it's kind of a good move, I think.
So, I guess we'll move on to something we've already talked about that we were pretty excited about last week. We'll try to be just as excited this week. Because it's mandatory that every week on the podcast we have something from CD Projekt Red to jerk off about. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you,
Witcher
that's
3
good.
multiplayer maybe is a thing.
Woo!
So,
Hardly set in stone.
The Witcher is like my favorite RPG series of the last console gen. I don't think anything was better.
I mean,
think the original Dragon Age, so Dragon Age Origins, almost up there, but they killed it. They killed it with 2. They betrayed my trust.
I haven't even played any of those games, so I don't feel you, bro.
It's very weird that you've never beat The Witcher, and to be fair,
Well,
I did the same thing as you for a really long time, where I was like, The Witcher's fucking awesome. I've only beaten the first half.
yeah. Well, I mean, I expect it only gets better because
I love the ending. So,
really?
yeah, the way the ending plays out is very excellent because they give you a bunch of choices and you make them and they actually play out.
That's true.
Like, the thing about The Witcher is that the choices in that game are just amazing because they don't give you some bullshit arbitrary morality system. It's like, here's a bunch of tough decisions. None of them will play out in a way where everything's okay. Make them. And, like, they give you some really tough stuff that can have some really serious repercussions.
Right. Weren't you talking about last week about the bridge?
Oh, yeah, that
Control.
fucking bridge. I want to play the game again because there's a cutscene at the end of the game where they show this bridge, and it's in the first zone, like the first chapter of the game. And if you kill this, there's this troll that's like supposed to take care of it, and I like helped him get over the like murder of his partner, and so that he would stop being an alcoholic and take care of the bridge. The other option is that you kill the troll, and then the humans could build a bridge. And then the third option is that you don't do anything, you just let the troll fucking be an alcoholic and terrorize people. And I want to know if you leave the bridge, if you just like leave it alone and ignore it, if that bridge shows up, because the bridge is really important in the cutscene. So I want to know if just doing this one random side quest that you think doesn't really have much importance has a shitload of importance.
I'm like, maybe they bring, like, they might add it into the story if you don't do it.
Well, the thing about that bridge is that like it's potentially big enough that they could be like, yeah, canon is that the bridge got built. Because like games, like generally, like when a game releases a third one, they're like, this is what happened in the second one, right?
Oh, right.
Like for the ending, they're just like, this is what happened. We don't care if you did the other thing. This is how we play off of it. I want to know if they're like, yeah, this was a side quest, and just for story purposes, we have to say you did it.
I mean, I could kind of see them doing that because it's in the game, and like if you didn't see it, then like it'd be kind of cool to go like, oh, go back and check it out and see what happened. But at the same time,
there's just the choices in that game have actual repercussions. So I'm just interested to go through and make a bunch of different choices and see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the game, like you can make choices that shorten up the end of the game by like an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
How many hours do you think like that takes? Like
the whole game, like 8 hours if you don't do every side quest.
Okay. Because that's I know I've been saying it every week on the podcast, but that's one game I just want to play. I haven't had like the time.
Once you know what you have to do for the side quests, it's like, or not for the side quest, for the main quest, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I suggest having a lot of money when you go into Act 3. Or not Act 3, Act 2.
Okay.
That's when you get to that city. Just save up all your money. Because there's this one bribe section that will get you past doing a stealth section. And fucking stealth sections in that game are such bullshit.
Are the stealth mechanics even like apparent in that game?
No, that's why they're bullshit.
I was gonna say, I don't.
You just like randomly get shot a bajillion times. They're like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. And then you get fucking killed.
It's... That just sounds like a lot of fun.
It's fucking bullshit. I hated it.
I might just wait until I get a new graphics card to play it too, so it runs smoother and I can kind of enjoy it a little bit more. It runs fine, but I want to enjoy that game in its full beauty because it's a pretty good looking game.
Yeah, I just want to get through it a second time before Witcher 3.
Right, and that comes out 2014, so
I believe so.
Got a little while then.
We're like halfway through this year already.
It isn't okay.
We're a
That's
third of the way through this year already.
so nuts. She's flying by.
So maybe we should actually talk about this topic. But Witcher 3 multiplayer like is possibly a thing, which in a way I'm half excited about. Now the issue is I don't know if they're gonna do it. They said that they're not gonna do it if it feels tacked on and if it like doesn't work within the story of the game, which is exactly what needs to be done. Like. Multiplayer has to, for an RPG, especially a fantasy RPG, it's really important that the multiplayer actually makes sense and isn't tacked on. Like, Skyrim couldn't be a multiplayer game for several reasons. One, mechanically, the game's fucking bullshit. Like, everything, you're just overpowered, so you kill everything in one hit. So you don't need two people who are overpowered running around and killing everything in one hit. But also, it doesn't work within the story context of the game. And so... Right. And that would instantly kill immersion, right?
Right.
And that's like the purpose. One of the things about The Witcher is like the story is really immersive and really excellent, and so you don't want to break that because that's why you play that game.
Yeah, not just to be a badass, but to like enjoy the story.
Well, fucking everything in that game's stronger than you, even on normal. There's a fucking golem in the third act of Witcher 2 that can one-shot you on normal. So it's like, you're not fucking strong in that game. In Skyrim, you're invincible. In Witcher 3, or Witcher 2, you're not.
I mean, Skyrim can get pretty difficult at certain stages, depending on like the settings or mods you have on it too. I mean,
you have to mod that game to make it hard. Otherwise, it's easy. Hardest difficulty, like the second you hit like level 8 games, It's fucking too easy.
So if you mess up, you build. You just put all your skills into alchemy. You don't care about anything else. But no, I think that this should be kind of a thing for every game, because look at Battlefield 3 for example. It's all multiplayer. You don't buy Battlefield 3 to say, hey, I'm gonna play the campaign. It's gonna be awesome. That's it. Like, yeah, I know you did, Tyler. That's, but like, it's it's a tacked on just for show. Not really. I mean, some people may enjoy it. It was okay, but it doesn't really have a huge purpose to the game. And it's not like the selling point. It, I feel like companies are kind of just doing that more just to have a single player, so people like that want that have it, but it's not that good. So. I think they'll do a better job at it than most people do, though. Like checking to make sure it works, and if it doesn't work, then they probably don't have to worry about it because
it won't be there.
Yeah,
it won't be there. They actually like port games properly and try shit, and when it doesn't work, they just get rid of it because they're not afraid of like the wasted money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm excited actually to see what they're going to do with multiplayer in Cyberpunk instead, because that's a game that it would work better in anyways, given the context of the game and the time setting.
And it's a fresh slate too. You don't have to somehow tie in more people. You can like start it off. It's a new IP. Let's go ahead and put multiplayer in it, and that'll be a part of the game. It's not.
Yeah, but it also just for like the setting works better, right? Because it's in the future. So I mean. Someone talking like how you and I talk wouldn't break the immersion of the game.
Right.
So, I guess everyone's talked about this by now, but let's do it anyways. Yeah. Disney closing LucasArts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After we talked about it last week, it was kind of. I think we both agreed it's kind of a good thing.
It's not a good thing. It's just not a bad thing either.
It's not a bad thing.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because like they haven't made anything good in 7 years. They haven't made anything good since Rebel Assault. They worked on Force Unleashed 1, but they weren't the sole developer. They weren't even the primary developer. There were 4 other studios on that game with them, and then everything else has just been a publishing thing. I mean, really, the only 2 things that are a shame is that the 2 games that were in development, which would be Star Wars First Assault, which was like their tester for Battlefront 3.
Right.
That's canceled. And then 1313 is also canceled. And the thing is, that game looked kind of interesting. It looked like Uncharted meets Star Wars with Boba Fett.
Right. It was definitely a game I was kind of interested in playing and buying. So,
but it doesn't mean that either of those games were good. Because literally LucasArts has not made anything good in 7 years.
Well, right, but at the same time, they haven't made anything for a while either.
No, they made Liquidity or whatever it's called. That's it. And like Force Unleashed 1.
So it'd be kind of interesting to see like who's still there, like what's good, what have they changed?
Just they don't have talent left anymore. They haven't had talent for years. They're not even really changing roles. They're just getting rid of people who are kind of worthless because they don't make games.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's the only bad thing is that those 2 games are dissolved, and Disney said they have no intentions of licensing whatever. But
Disney said they don't intend to like license those games out to other people to finish, so they're canceled. That's it. They're done.
Yeah,
they're not in development hell. Disney killed them. Which is probably better than being in development hell. So
yeah, because then you just have people questioning the waiting, and that's true. Yeah. So you had it coming, LucasArts.
Yeah, well, they're not even really changing roles. They're still just a licensing house for Star Wars games.
I mean, it might be a good move by Disney just to say like, hey, don't expect anything because you're not getting anything.
Well, that's what they said basically. Because I mean, when they bought LucasArts or when they bought Lucas Studios or whatever, when they bought out George Lucas from everything he owned, They said that they're gonna focus on like social gaming and mobile stuff, and not on making like big AAAs, and they're just gonna license out the title. So,
Oh man, so we're gonna see like Angry Birds Star Wars.
well, that already exists, but
Well, I mean that
more of it.
we're more of it. I mean,
Just
like
don't
more
expect
game-
anything like from Disney using like the Star Wars license that is like a core game, because they said they're
Basically,
not making core games.
as in expect more games like Angry Birds Star Wars, where like it's more of a theme on a pocket device rather than on your home console.
Well, not necessarily that, because the thing is, they said they're not going to develop games internally, basically, or at
Yeah,
least not
it's-
core games. Doesn't mean they're not licensing out Star Wars to other people.
As in like to like Knights of the Old Republic. Not, I mean that's dead, but
You mean what? Cotter is an awesome game,
yeah, but like
single player.
how that is because it's made by BioWare, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they'll do stuff like that still. Not saying they're gonna like make new Knights of the Old Republic, but like they'll still have games out there, but they're not gonna develop. Disney basically just has no affiliation besides the name, is what it is, right?
Yeah, they're just licensing shit out. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all they've done for fucking 8 years now. So.
Yeah.
So now that this topic is also dead, but I still want to talk about it because the topic's dead, but people are retarded still. Durango,
Still.
possibly always online.
I hope it is. I hope it's true.
Adam Orth resigned, sadly, because, to be honest, he's the guy who made those tweets.
Oh.
And remember last week when I said he was going to get fired?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did, kind of. He had to resign from his job, so he basically got fired from internal pressure. But I swear, everyone, I called that shit. I still have that audio clip. I could find it, but I'm not going to because I'm lazy. But he resigned. The thing is, I still think this is retarded because it's not true. Because you and I, we talked about this. There's two like things that spurred on this always online thing. One of them was a leak regarding the dev kit that says the dev kit always has to be online. But the Xbox 360 dev kit's always online. I'm pretty sure the PS3 dev kit's always online. I'm assuming the PS4 dev kit's going to be always online because they're used for tracking purposes. That way devs can't sell them on fucking eBay for $4,000. Like, the dev kit is just, it's always online because the internet's fucking wonderful for tracking people. Just DRM. That's why they're always online. So, like, I don't get why... So that's the first source. And people are flipping shit about it. And it's like, that's retarded. Calm your tits. And then the second thing is, Kotaku said they have an anonymous source that says that the consumer version is always online. Since when has anyone taken news seriously from Kotaku? Ever.
What? All the time?
They've never been right about anything in their life. They call shit all the time on the last console generation that turned out to not be true. They called games huge successes like the Old Republic and said that there's no way the game's ever going to fail. When everyone else said it was going to fail. And guess what? The fucking game failed.
They had faith, hey. You get it? Sometimes.
No, you can't take anything from Kotaku seriously. This is a company that fucking posts pictures of a woman who looks like she's floating, and they're like, this is gaming news. No, they're a fucking blog. None of them are journalists. They're completely inept. Don't trust anything they say. It is not true. Fuck.
And... I guess you really like Kotaku, eh?
They're the fucking best. 10 out of 10. I guess just like at the end of the day, I just don't get why people think it's like the Xbox is going to be always online. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
And the other thing is that
like
a lot of the rumors are about it being always on. The thing is that always on actually refers to a device not turning off. And so like within that same description, like the PS4 would be always on because it doesn't turn off. It powers down into an idle mode so that it can download and patch in the background while it's like off, right?
Hmm.
So like even if it is always on, it possibly refers to it just being connected to the internet and being like in a state where it can basically download and patch in the background. Except
Right.
that's not what the Kotaku article said. The Kotaku article said that like it needed to be plugged into the internet for 3 minutes, or it would only let you play for 3 minutes.
Right.
But like the Adam Orth thing about it being always on, I get the like. It just seems really stupid.
Yeah. It does.
Gamers frustrate the shit out of me.
What do?
Gamers,
Oh.
because they're retarded and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, if you're rational about it and you think about it, it doesn't make sense. It just, I mean, it just really doesn't. Because no, I don't know.
There's just nothing
Like,
pointing to. There's nothing reliable pointing at this console being an always online console. There's nothing
especially
at all.
especially when you take, and then like example from Kotaku News, anonymous sources
Yeah, except
like
that Kotaku's been proven to just make shit up. So, and like be like anonymous source. It's like no, fuck you. So anytime they have an anonymous source, you can just ignore them because they literally just make shit up. Fucking Kotaku. Fucking gamers.
God.
Fucking gaming news sites having to source Kotaku. Fuck all of you. I can't believe anyone talked about that shit.
Want to talk about more news then? That might be.
Sure. Actually, this part I'm kind of excited about because there's shit in here that I think is really cool from a utility standpoint.
Yeah.
So, The Verge got to do an exclusive regarding next Xbox features. So, the idea is that it basically works as a set-top box, which isn't actually all that special because, at least given the way that this one works, I wish they took it a step further, really, because the Wii U has set-top boxes features as well. The only thing
Yeah.
the Wii U is missing from its media library, which actually pisses me off, is that you can't stream off the
Yeah.
network to it.
Be so nice.
Yeah, it
If that
needs a
was
media
true,
player in it,
if that was true, I'd probably buy one because that's what I'm looking for. So.
but it has a set-top feature where like you pick out your what cable box you have. Because like the gamepad's a universal remote, right? So you pick out what
Okay.
cable box you have, but you also choose like your cable provider and what package you have for cable, and then it like shows up within like on the Wii U. It shows your cable schedule like within its own special like environment,
Yeah.
and you can set up shows that you like want to watch. And then when you're playing the game, like playing a game will be like this show starts in 5 minutes, and you're like, oh shit, I have to finish. And then like
What?
when it hits, and then it'll be like, do you want to watch this show when it comes up? And you can say yes, and like turns on your TV and like changes the source to your cable box and like changes the channel.
That's okay. That's pretty rad.
Yeah. So like that's something that they're building into this with the new Xbox, right? Is that it's working like a set-top box, which is a really cool idea. The only thing that
Yeah.
I'm not very happy about is that you still need your original cable box. When I know, at least to my understanding of the way that the Xbox 360 works in the UK, you can use it as a cable box, so it has a coax in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the 360 has a coax in the UK, I think, so you can use it as a cable box.
That is nuts. Because
And
that's it.
that's something that I would have liked to have seen in the new Xbox, because I have a NES, a SNES, a Genesis with a CD drive, an N64, a Wii U, a PC, and a media extender, and a cable box. I don't have room for another console. I don't have room for anything else. I literally have shit just sitting around my TV on the floor. There's no room for another console. But if they release a console that could take a coax in so that I could use it as a cable box, I would buy that shit. Or at least I would consider buying it if I had like if there was something there besides just being a game machine.
Right. No, that would definitely be awesome because I know in the U.S. too. I don't know how like cable companies over there. I think you have to rent cable boxes too. So like you can buy your own, which are really hard to find, or like build
You
your
can
own
buy them
like
from the cable company
yeah,
here, at least where I live, but they're like $300.
yeah. They're you have to
Or you
rent
rent
them
them out for like $10 a month.
which is fucking stupid because you have to do the same with modems for here, unless if you know how to set up your own modem, which it's like $5 a month to rent it,
Oh, I
and
got
then
my cable provider gave me my modem for free.
oh
I have like
really?
a big ass enterprise Cisco modem,
Yeah, no, they
but
charge
that's
you
just
here,
because
so
of like the connection that I have. The like regular consumer modems that they do, like they don't work.
yeah,
They're not fast enough because I'm special.
true.
But yeah, like one of the things that I would actually, so I'm like, all this set top stuff is really cool. I like the idea. It's a really utility based thing
Yeah,
because like what Sony's trying to do is right now they're marketing towards gamers, and that's cool and all. The thing is that like with how much it costs to make a console and how much it costs to make AAA games and all that shit, you don't survive off of gamers. You survive off of selling to the
right.
public, right?
Well, that should be your focus anyways, because gamers,
Gamers
if
already know
they already
everything about the
know,
console.
right, if they hear it, they're gonna look into it. It's not like you have to tell them every detail. They'll find it. Just give them the internet. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and so like Microsoft is really ramping up so far on basically just advertising to households, which is a really good idea
oh,
because
definitely.
I mean, if you have a lot of utility in your box, then you can sell it to people who aren't gamers, and you need to do that in order to make a profit at some point because I mean, there's just not enough core gamers to fucking make money off of us. So
Yeah,
like I would say as a gamer right now, I'm leaning towards the PS4 because I can see what it does as a games console, whereas I have nothing about the Xbox. But they're talking about a lot of features that I think are quite neat, and
yeah.
I can see them selling a lot better to families based off of like the utilities that they're displaying.
The Connect feature is kind of freaky though,
Oh
where
yeah, that's creepy as shit.
if someone's not looking at the TV, they'll pause the movie. That could get really annoying because
How
I
many
mean this
people does it work with? How many people
yeah
have to look away from the screen for it to turn off? Like you sitting there with 9 people, and there's like one dude who looks away.
constantly look. So, what someone has ADHD and can't keep their
As
eyes on
long
the
as that's shit that you can like turn off.
right. I mean I'm imagining it would be, but it would be kind of a neat feature in like in certain like situations. But no, definitely a cool update on it, hyping it up rather than just specs and like what it looks like. It's more what it can do. I like it.
Yeah. Plus, someone brought up. Michael Pachter brought up. Now I hate Michael Pachter. He's a fucking retard. He's like an analyst who never gets anything right, and he's really wrong based off of what his talk with Sessler was this week. He couldn't be more wrong this time, but I am disappointed that it's not going to be the case. If you could do coax in, then you could sell these as cable boxes, right? And so then you could sell them. You could like subsidize the consoles with a cable contract, right? So your cable
Right.
provider could sell you an Xbox for like $200 at release, but it's subsidized with like at like $40 a month or something. Because he actually makes a really good point. Like someone who has to be signed up for Xbox Live is worth more money. Like you could subsidize that if you lock someone into an Xbox Live contract for 3 years. Like they're worth fucking a couple grand.
That's true.
So if you could like sell them through your cable, Microsoft could sell Xboxes through cable providers and require that they sign up for Xbox Live on like a certain amount of contract for like, or well, on contract for like X amount of years, and subsidize the console that way, which would increase adoption rate probably because it would substantially reduce the price of like initial buys from being like $600, which I'd be fucking surprised if the PS4 and the Xbox aren't in that range, like in the $400 to $600 range.
Yeah.
Not even the $400 to $600 range, $500 to $600 range. I'll be astounded if they're less than $500. But like you could bring that price down to $200, right? And then
Yep.
yeah, Microsoft and Sony are taking like a bigger hit on each console sale, but Microsoft would be like guaranteeing that people buy Xbox Live for 3 years or some shit like that, just like they do with phones.
Right. No,
Because people are stupid and they don't understand that if you pay like $10 a month extra on your contract for 3 years, you just paid them like $3,000 for a goddamn phone.
yeah.
And you could do the same thing with consoles. And they, in a way, already did that. They tested that market anyways when they did the Xbox with the Kinect for like $40 or some shit. But you had to get on Xbox Live for 2 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see them try something like that. I just don't think they are going to because of like this stuff. However, it doesn't mean that you can't. They still obviously haven't confirmed that you can't run a coax in. It just doesn't look like you're going to be able to.
Yeah.
Super disappointing.
Which is like last point. That's kind of weird though. If they do have one in the UK, that why would they have one here then? Like even on the next gens, unless that's something to do with how.
It might
UK
have to do with
television-
cable television there because I'm pretty sure there's only one cable provider. Like when you buy a TV in the UK, you have to like get a license for the TV and
Oh,
shit.
that's right. Yeah, that.
Like there,
I guess.
I think I think there's only like I think cable is provided by the government.
Yeah.
So
I
like
guess
you
it
don't
would
have to
be-
worry about different specs regarding like signals.
Right.
Not that I think you have to do that here either. I mean, it's just a cable signal.
Right.
I think that's only an issue with cell phones, but fucking what do I know? I'm not a goddamn signal engineer. I don't deal with electricity and shit. I write code. I don't know how cable boxes work. I just would like to see, like, if you want to add a utility, that's a fucking utility to add cable boxes. So you want to move on to this last year topic that I'm also mad about once again because I hate gamers, but whatever, it's the fucking internet.
Yeah.
EA wins the consumerist poll for worst company in America.
Second year in a row.
2 years in a row. Big fucking champions.
Yeah. It takes talent to win 2 years in a row.
So the reason why I'm really pissed about this, well, not pissed, because it's an internet poll, so I mean, how angry can I get, but still massively disappointed, is that people are bigoted enough that they'll vote for a company being the worst company in America because they support LGBT. They are fucking stupid enough that they'll vote for a company being worst company in America because they put a football star on the front cover of a game that they don't like. And
Oh. Yeah. I can see that too.
And their fucking gamers are too butthurt over bad DRM schemes that they will, well, vote for a company being the worst company in America when you have Bank of America and fucking ExxonMobil, like, seriously fucking shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not worry about oil spills and how terrible the economy can be.
Well done,
EA
Internet.
Sports.
You always make me fucking feel good about myself. However, I will acknowledge that Peter Moore completely did this the wrong way in like his apology letter or whatever. He basically said like the reason that they're doing that they're winning is because even though there's worse companies like ExxonMobil and Bank of America, but is that people basically vote against them because they're bigoted and that football fans are retarded and that gamers are entitled. It's like, well, now you're not really apologizing. And the issue with like his letter that he released is that it shows like no acknowledgement of what they could actually do better regarding like what they did. Like he still refers to SimCity being always online as not a DRM scheme, even though it's shown that it clearly is. There's just a lot of shit there that's like, how could you, like, he just doesn't acknowledge any of the reasons why people are mad at EA. Or at least any of the legitimate reasons. I wouldn't say supporting LGBT is being a legitimate reason. However, he totally throws them under the fucking bus.
EA under the bus?
EA completely throws, like, LGBT community under the bus.
Oh, so...
to, like, try to save them. They're like, how can you be mad at us? We like lesbians. It's like, what? That's not why anyone's mad at you, but that's not an excuse to not be mad at you.
What was that whole fiasco about?
He, like, released a letter that's a response to winning the poll.
Oh.
Like, the COO, Peter Moore,
Okay.
like, released a letter saying, like, that people are just mad at us because we support the LGBT community, and we're not going to take that. And it's like, no, that's not why people are mad at you. But you can't say we can't be mad at you because you support them, because there's a shitload of companies that do. Just very... It just shows, like, a lack of responsibility from him. And I guess EA as a whole, because fuck, God knows that it wasn't him who wrote that letter, but instead a whole team of marketers and PR people and him and a bunch of executives and people whose job it is to write these kind of letters. Like, there's no way that he just one day decided to sit down and write this letter. Like, it reeks of PR, but they're just like, you can't just say, well, we do shitty things, but... you know, we support LGBT, so fucking you just gotta buy our games.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
The internet.
So frustrated. One quick
internet polls. What do they count for?
Lots of things actually. I mean,
okay, you were gonna say something. What was it that you were gonna say?
One topic I want to add to this week is the VR Oculus Rift. Have you like followed that at all?
A little bit. Because VR is something that I'm actually interested in, something that we did that I worked a bit on when I was working at this one lab that did graphics and game design stuff. Specifically, what we did was like humans interfacing with computers and how we can change that. So we did a lot of VR research, and so the Oculus Rift is interesting to me, but it doesn't seem to fix any of the things that I ran into as problems. So, but fuck, I haven't used it, so maybe they fixed everything that I ran into as a problem, but I'm doubtful they did.
I want to use it, and they released I don't know, some company released a like 17-minute video of them playing TF2 with it, and it seems pretty cool. I mean, obviously you don't get any of the effects and don't know what it's like at all, but they kind of explain more of it, how it works in that environment at least. So,
well, the thing is that I'm just kind of unimpressed with it, because what it looks like so far is that they just took very, very small, very high pixel density screens and put them in there, and then put in head tracking.
They're not I think they're like 1024 by something.
Really?
Like,
because
resolution. Yeah, they're
Sharp released tiny screens that you can actually use in consumer goods because they're not too expensive, and they're like 4 times the pixel density of Retina. So on a 5-inch display, you can get up to 1080p.
I don't think they are 1080p though.
I'm just saying, like, they could have used a better screen.
Maybe to keep it more consumer.
Keep the price down.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's.
I mean, that's why they would do it. But the thing is, like, they're doing dev kits and stuff. They don't even have a consumer version coming out until later this summer. But there's a lot of things that need to be solved, like latency. Any amount of latency completely fucking breaks it. It needs to be almost instantaneous.
Right.
And you're always looking at 10 ms, and it breaks it a lot, especially with the stuff that I was doing, because we were doing, like, moving inside of a 3D environment. not using like a keyboard and mouse or a controller. So that's one thing that like the Oculus Rift will not have a problem with. But like latency needs to be fixed. Resolution needs to be stupidly high because if you can see pixels, it breaks it. Head tracking's easy. Head tracking's dead easy. That's
Head
something that's been
tracking's easy, but what they couldn't do is they can't do
tilting.
Yeah.
That's game engine shit. That's not related to the actual thing. They could probably do that if people built it in.
That's true, man.
Because head tracking is not all that hard, and people have been doing head tracking for like the last 10 years. There's a really cool video that I wish I could find. It's like 6 years old, and it's this dude who rigged up a monitor onto an M4, like an actual M4, and he wired it all up so that the trigger was a left mouse click, and there were a couple buttons on like the barrel of the gun that he wired into it, and everywhere that you like aim the gun is like you would aim the gun and it would move it around in the screen, like the cursor. So like you looked around by aiming this gun, and it did that through head tracking, by basically just rigging up the gun like you would for head tracking. It was fucking awesome, and that was with Half-Life 2 fucking like 7 years ago. So, but I haven't been able to find the video. The Oculus Rift looks really neat, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I'm interested because
it also looks like it's grand.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd rather just get a new PC. Let's be honest. Well, the development kit's only $300.
I don't think the development kit's only $300.
Yeah.
Is it?
$300 US.
Okay, well, the last person who told me what the price was, they're like, yeah, it's like $1,000. I was like, okay. Because you can't sell that as a consumer good and expect sales.
Yeah. You might as well just put those 1080p monitors in there, because it's expensive as hell already. Yeah. But, no, I just want to throw that in there, because I saw it, and I know it's been at, like, I don't know, I think it was at CES, and it was at PAX East, and I'm pissed I didn't go to PAX East, because I would have liked to try this, among a billion other things, but, definitely that video just kind of put it over the edge. It was them talking about it and watching how like just apparently like any kind of particle effect is really amazing looking. So I guess I'd have to try it before I buy it though, or have any more interest in it. But
well, there's like no game support for it.
That's true. I was talking with some friends and then said it Minecraft. That was added to Minecraft. That would be amazing.
Why would you add it to Minecraft? Minecraft looks like ass, so what the fuck's the point in like going around Minecraft in VR?
Because it's a 3D experience, so stuff's coming at you, right? Well, everything falls in that game. I mean, like blocks are falling, things are coming at you, like fireballs and arrows, monsters. And the cool thing they showed in the TF2 video was you can still like dig where you're, or like shoot where you're aiming, but then look around, like see behind you. You're still aiming and shooting at the same spot. So like if you're digging, you can like check over your shoulder and stuff. It adds more of an immersion level, like in like I don't know. I think that'd be a good game for it. Just because I could see it in Minecraft, but
except that Minecraft's not even immersive.
Well, it needs something like this to make it more immersive, or to make it immersive to begin with. Just throwing that out there. Notch, not Notch, because you don't make that anymore. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a good thing he doesn't. Game was ass.
Yeah.
It's much better now.
It's much better, but I still won't play it. Unless if it's Tekkit.
Tekkit's fucking awesome. It adds purpose to that whole game.
Apparently there's
without mods, that game's fucking boring as shit. It's like, what do? I don't know, build shit out of wool.
Yep, go make pixel art in Minecraft. Badass, dude. I don't have any
I think
topics.
I think we should wrap this up. And yes, we will wrap it up now. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hopefully this episode somehow makes up for missing last week. It doesn't, but on the other hand, missing last week saved this episode from being 30 minutes long.
True.
So thanks for watching, and good night or afternoon or morning or whenever the fuck you're watching this. I've been Ryan, and he's been Tyler, and we'll see you guys next week for the BioShock Infinite Spoilercast. Actually, BioShock series. I shouldn't say Infinite. Entire series.
I'll just play 2.
Just play 2. The one that has no story relevance across the whole series.
Yep.
Okay then. Excellent.